The fuel you didn't ask for, how Black women turn survival into empire. Welcome to the Soft Girl Era podcast, where we create sacred space for Black women who are finally choosing themselves. I'm LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce like sweet softness whispered in French. And today we're diving deep into something that doesn't get talked about enough in entrepreneurial circles. We're talking about the raw, unfiltered truth of how trauma doesn't have to be the end of your story, it can be the beginning of your empire. I recently had the honor of sitting down with Jomeca Hawkins for the Soft Girl Era podcast. And let me tell you, this woman is a walking testament to resilience. Jamaica rose from the streets of New Orleans with that unbreakable Creole spirit, carrying the weight of a motherless childhood, a mother battling addiction and incarceration, becoming a teen mother at 16 and losing both brothers to gun violence. And still, she built an entrepreneurial empire. Her story isn't just inspiring, it's revolutionary. It's proof that our pain doesn't define us, but how we transform it absolutely can. Jomeca is making the world a better place by showing Black women that their trauma can become the very foundation upon which they build legacies that outlive them. During our conversation for the Soft Girl Era podcast, Jomeca shared something that hit me right in the chest. She said she wanted to talk about overcoming traumatic experiences and beating the odds of diversity to achieve entrepreneurial success. And I thought, yes, that's it. That's the conversation we need to have. Because how many of us have been taught that trauma is something to hide, something to be ashamed of, something that disqualifies us from success? But here's what I've learned. And here's what Joe Mecca embodies: trauma isn't the end, it's fuel. Let me say that again for the sisters in the back. Trauma isn't the end, it's fuel. Now, I know that sounds wild, maybe even a little offensive if you're in the thick of your healing, but stay with me, because what Jamaica and so many other Black women entrepreneurs have discovered is that the pain we've endured, the losses we've survived, the systems that tried to break us, they didn't destroy us, they forged us. They gave us a fire that can't be extinguished, a vision that can't be blurred, a determination that can't be shaken. And that's the first truth I want you to walk away with today. Turn your pain from loss and hardship into your entrepreneurial drive. Jomeca did it rising from New Orleans streets. Other incredible Black women have done it climbing out of bankruptcy, leaping from deep trauma into business triumph. These women didn't wait for their wounds to fully heal before they started building. They built while they healed. They turned their survival into strategy. Think about it. When you've survived what shouldn't be survivable, when you've carried what shouldn't be bearable, you develop a kind of strength that people who've had it easy will never understand. You develop grit, resourcefulness, and an ability to see opportunities where others see obstacles. That's not just resilience, that's entrepreneurial genius born from necessity. But here's where it gets tricky, because we live in a world that loves a good trauma story, as long as you've neatly packaged it with a bow, as long as you're smiling through the pain, as long as you're not too angry, too raw, too real. And for Black women, the expectations are even more suffocating. We're supposed to be strong, unshakable, the backbone of everyone else's dreams while our own are deferred. That brings me to the second truth: beat diversity odds by owning your story. During the Soft Girl Era podcast interview, Jomeca reminded us that as Black women, we face extra layers: poverty, violence, systemic barriers that weren't designed for us to climb, they were designed to keep us out. But claiming your narrative, speaking your truth without apology, that's where unbreakable resilience is built. Let me tell you about Darnell Gervais Harmon. She filed for bankruptcy in a system stacked against Black women. She could have let that financial trauma define her. She could have shrunk back, stayed quiet, played small. Instead, she used the power of affirmative words, faith based frameworks, and relentless mindset work to pivot into abundance coaching. She built $1 million empire called Move to Millions, and now she's revolutionizing how Black women approach wealth. She's proving that abundance is our birthright, not our pipe dream. Darnielle grew up talking bold despite getting in trouble for it. She harnessed that voice, that refusal to be silenced, and shifted from broke to building millions in 1 year. 1 year. She didn't wait for permission. She didn't wait for the pain to stop. She turned her bankruptcy into a blueprint and now empowers thousands of women to claim wealth as their divine inheritance. Or take Jamie Shiarla. She battled severe past trauma in an unforgiving environment, facing personal demons and societal odds that would have crushed most people. But she took a leap of faith into entrepreneurship, challenging every limit placed on her. She turned her pain into a platform through what she calls rock solid storytelling, survival narratives that move masses. She's empowering Black women to challenge norms and proving that trauma doesn't disqualify you from innovation, it fuels it. Jamie didn't have a safety net. She didn't have a trust fund or a mentor waiting in the wings. What she had was a story that refused to stay silent and a determination to honor her healing journey by building something that mattered. She launched a bold entrepreneurial path that inspires people every single day because she chose to let her wounds become her wisdom. And then there's Maliek Danridge, known as King Maliek. He built a salon empire in Philadelphia and Atlanta while battling high functioning depression. He carried the weight of childhood adversity, racism, the echoes of gun violence, and the suffocating silence around mental health in the Black community. He was the strong one, the one everyone leaned on, but inside, he was struggling. And even though his story ended in tragedy, his legacy sparked healing conversations that are still rippling through communities today. Maliek was a vibrant soul who hid deep pain behind his smile and success. He was the first self employed entrepreneur in his family. He transformed lives in his salon, became a mentor icon, and even collaborated on films. But the weight he carried, the weight so many of us carry, became too much. His story reminds us that even our silent battles, the ones we hide behind smiles and success, they matter. They deserve to be acknowledged. They deserve support. These stories aren't just inspiring tales, they're mirrors. They're proof that your story, no matter how messy, how painful, how unfinished, it has power. And when you own it, when you stop apologizing for surviving, you give other women permission to do the same. But owning your story isn't enough. You have to move. You have to act. You have to channel that energy into something tangible. That's the third truth. Success demands relentless faith in action. Jomeca calls it that. It's no mother, no problem energy. It's the refusal to let circumstances dictate outcomes. It's waking up every single day and choosing to build, even when your hands are shaking, even when the odds are stacked, even when the world is telling you to sit down and be grateful for the crumbs. Faith without works is dead, right? But here's what they don't tell you: works without faith is exhausting. It's that grind culture that's killing us, that hustle mentality that says your worth is tied to your productivity, that superwoman cape that's so heavy it's breaking our backs. And that's where the soft girl era comes in. Because this podcast, this movement, it's not about abandoning ambition. It's about redefining strength. It's about building empires without burning out. It's about learning to say no without guilt, setting boundaries without apology, and resting without explanation. Jamaica's journey shows us that you can be soft and strong. You can heal and hustle. You can honor your trauma and still build something beautiful. You don't have to choose between being whole and being successful. You can be both. So here's what I want you to do: I want you to audit one trauma, just one. Sit with it, journal about it. Ask yourself, how has this shaped me? What strength did it give me? What perspective? What fire? And then this week, I want you to take one business step fueled by that insight. Pitch an idea, reach out to a mentor, start that LLC, post that vulnerable story on social media with the hashtag beat the odds. Let the world see that your pain has purpose. Because here's the thing, the world needs what you've survived to create, the businesses that will change lives, the movements that will shift culture, the legacies that will outlive us. They're being built by women who refuse to let trauma have the last word. Jomeca Hawkins is living proof. Darnell Jervey Harmon is living proof. Jamie Shiarla is living proof. Maliek Danridge's legacy is living proof. And you, yes, you listening in right now, you are living proof. Your motherless childhood, your teen pregnancy, your financial ruin, your depression, your grief, your rage, your exhaustion, none of it disqualifies you. All of it equips you. So I want you to feel something right now. I want you to feel fired up, unstoppably hopeful, ready to own your power like you just shook off chains in the Mardi Gras sun. I want you to feel the weight of that superwoman cape sliding off your shoulders. I want you to feel the softness creeping back into your bones, the permission to rest, the freedom to just be, because that's what the soft girl era is all about. It's the sacred space where strong Black women unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom they deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. Jomeca reminded us during our Soft Girl Era podcast conversation that we don't have to carry everything. We don't have to be everything to everyone. We can release the cape. We can redefine what strength looks like. We can embrace softness as the radical act of self love that it is. We can heal in real time, protect our peace as a practice, and turn our survival into something sacred. And when we do that, when we stop performing strength and start embodying wholeness, that's when the real magic happens. That's when businesses flourish. That's when creativity flows. That's when legacy is built. Here's the truth nobody tells you: the world doesn't need another woman who's barely holding it together. The world needs you whole. The world needs you rested. The world needs you building from a place of overflow, not depletion. So here's my challenge to you: stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for the trauma to be fully healed before you start building. Build while you heal. Let your pain be the fuel, not the brake. Let your story be the blueprint, not the burden. This week, I want you to take one radical action. I want you to look at the thing you've been avoiding because it feels too hard, too scary, too impossible. And I want you to take one step toward it. Just one. Write the first paragraph of that book. Send the email to that investor. Register that business name. Record that first video, whatever it is. Do it scared, do it tired, do it imperfectly, but do it. And when you do, I want you to remember something. You are not building alone. There's a whole community of women walking this path with you. Women who understand that softness isn't weakness. Women who know that rest is resistance. Women who are choosing themselves finally, unapologetically, powerfully. Your trauma didn't break you, it broke you open. And what's pouring out now? That's pure gold. That's the stuff empires are made of. That's the fuel that will carry you further than you ever imagined. So go. Build your empire, own your story, turn your survival into success, and do it softly. Do it joyfully. Do it on your own terms. The world is waiting for what only you can create. Don't make us wait any longer.